The 15th of December 2024 is 10 years since the Lindt cafe siege in Sydney, which claimed the lives of 2 hostages and their captor. Man Haron Monis took 8 staff members and 10 customers hostage in the Martin Place cafe. This was happening just metres from a TV station, the 7 Network building on the other side of the street. Just before 10 a.m, Monis ordered cafe manager Tory Johnson to call police. Within 10 minutes, officers were at the scene. So what was happening inside Channel 7 as the morning show went to air within sight of the cafe windows, which would soon show hostages' desperate faces? I was working for Sunrise at the time. I've kept the emails from department heads and the boss of the network. The morning show dumped its rundown as 7 covered the breaking news. Shortly before lunch, this message was sent to the entire 7 Network staff by CEO Tim Warner, with network owner Kerry Stokes copied in. Many of you would be aware of an incident currently unfolding in Martin Place. As a result of this incident, our 7 News and Public Affairs studios have been evacuated and our current rolling live coverage is being switched from a remote location. All our people are safe and accounted for. We are now well into plans we have in place which provide for this sort of event. Those plans include how we will continue our coverage and also how we will present and broadcast our 7 News Sydney Bulletin at 6 p.m. tonight. Our thoughts are with those who were at the centre of this situation. The hostages inside the cafe were being ordered to phone media outlets with demands, but the calls went nowhere. Monis became even angrier mid-afternoon when some of the hostages escaped. With the day disappearing, Sunrise had to set out plans for the Tuesday show. At the time, with the studios still evacuated, the Sunrise team didn't know if they'd be able to use the studio the following morning, or if Koshi and Nat would be broadcasting from, say, a nearby street if the siege continued into daylight Tuesday. The production manager sent out this email just before 4 p.m. We have 2 plans in place for tomorrow's show, depending on whether we are back in the Martin Place studio or not. Regardless of whether we are in the studio or not, Sunrise will broadcast from 5:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. It will be live in all markets. Early morning news will be on from 5 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. We are sending Rebecca Madden to Melbourne to read early morning news and as standby host for Sunrise. Mark Beretta will also fly to Melbourne to be there as a standby host. Then the plans for both a no studio show and a regular show were laid out. Koshi and Nat were told they may have to host the show from outside the Channel 7 offices or somewhere else suitably safe. While 7 was making coverage plans, the hostages were still trapped with a terrorist. Watching the activity through the cafe windows was a police sniper who was positioned on the Sunrise floor in 7's empty studios above the newsroom. A 7 News camera had shots of him in place on level 4. That prompted this email, firstly asking that his face be blurred, but then new instructions. We must not run this vision or mention it on air until the siege is over. Police do not want to give away any tactical advantages. Early Tuesday morning, the police marksman would confirm Tory Johnson had died before armed officers stormed the cafe, with Monis dying as he returned fire. An inquest was also told hostage Katrina Dawson was struck by police bullet fragments and couldn't be saved. The mother of 3 was 38.